because it's little. Of course, I completely missed the point of having a travel guitar by also bringing 2 large guitars and a whole sound system that are not little. So I told you I got this new record called Lonely for the Sun, and I want to play a song from that right now that's called Everything Shines. And I started writing it a few years ago. I was driving from Los Angeles to San Francisco, and if you've ever been out on the West Coast and ever driven Interstate 5, by the way, when you're out in California, just so you know, kind of like you call this place Rock Thrill, well, they call their highways, they put the in front of the number of the highway. So they don't say like Interstate 5, they say the 5, the 4 or 5. So I was driving on the 5 north out of Los Angeles. And if you drive straight north like that, you go almost immediately into a mountain pass. And that's, it's called the Grapevine. It goes very steep incline and then down these windy turns into the Central Valley. I think it's Central Valley or San Joaquin Valley of California. It goes right up to San Francisco. Well, on this particular night, it was a late night. I had to drive through the night. It's about a 6 or 7 hour drive. And I was driving a little bus. Some of you remember maybe the first couple times I came here, I had this funky little bus that I drove. And as I got up into the Grapevine, into that mountain pass, there was a storm that had blown up in it. And so it was driving rain. It was very windy. The 5... because it's such a straight road to San Francisco, there are always lots of trucks on it. So I got up into this mountain pass, and the wind was blowing. My little bus was getting blown all over the place, and there were all these trucks, and the road was windy, and it got narrow, and I thought, man, I might die here. Sometimes I get dramatic. And so I was thinking, man, I wonder if I'm going to make it through this mess. And I was really tired. I could barely keep my eyes open. And as I got to the top of that mountain, I remember being so exhausted from being blown around and wondering if I was going to crash. And I just remember putting the van in there, the little bus in neutral. And I began to coast down the mountain. And it's amazing how, as people, as human beings, we can go to extremes. We can feel like everything's going to be over at any minute. But what happened is I put that bus in neutral and I started to coast down the mountain through the rain and the wind and all the trucks that were on either side of me. I started to pick up speed and I began to pass the trucks. And before I knew it, the road was straightening out and I was heading down into that valley, and as I did, I drove out of the storm, and I drove out of the storm into the most beautiful, clear sky. And when you come down into the valley, the road straightens right out. You'd swear you could see 100 miles in front of you. And as I drove into the valley, the sky was beautiful, and I suddenly felt just fine. I knew that I could make the drive. I knew that I could drive all night. I was so grateful. And of course, I thought to myself, what was I thinking back there? I'm so glad I'm alive right now. So anything, it's like anything where we go to extremes, it's amazing how quickly things can change. So this is called Everything Shines. When you walk in the dark, you can see everything. When you can't see the light, when you get alone for the sun or anyone, be undone and open up your eyes till everything shines almost a glare. When you're coming alive again, the night on the 5 I was barely alive when we outran the rain. Now I'm good all the way to San Fran, and man, it's got to be the clearest night. And everything shines almost clear when you're coming alive again. Everything shines almost clear when you're coming alive again. And gravity conspire with me, coming down the mountain. The weather falls behind us now, and the wheels turn the engine. And now we all stay alive, and we wait a little longer, and wait. Everything shines almost clear when you're coming alive again. When you're coming alive.